3, 2, 1, and we're live. What's up, good buddy?
What's up,
back,
bro?
old man?
We are back.
Jeez Louise. Dude, 25's right around the corner.
Damn, we've almost lived a quarter of a century, dude.
That's annoying. Dude, I've been thinking a lot about it lately, too. Is like, I feel like as a kid, everything just moves at such a slower pace. And before you know it, it really is here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, luckily I haven't been at the part of like, oh God, what have I done?
Right.
But like, I do have that sense of like, when I was a kid, the future was like my oyster.
Mm-hmm.
And now reality has like slapped me in the face and been like, okay, well, if you actually want something, you got to start making moves now.
Right.
Because it's not like, it'll happen in 10, 15 years and I'll figure out when I get there. It's like, no, that's here now. So you got to start figuring it out now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
100%. When you're a kid, you have all these ideas and things you want to achieve. And you just, I don't know, you kind of think it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And now you realize like, oh, you got to work your ass off.
You got to, yeah, you got to do it, dude. It's like stupid little stuff. I've just been like looking at people a lot, especially like who are successful, and putting myself in their shoes. Like something as stupid as like, I went to go to the D-backs game yesterday, and I was looking at they played the Giants, so I was looking at Buster Posey.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was right there, you know. Like I had good seats, so he's right there. Like I could probably, you know, yell and he could hear me.
Right.
And it's like, this dude is a legend. Like, I mean, just the fact, like all the dudes on the field, like they're in the MLB and they're just like chilling out there. You know, it doesn't look like they're like, wow, this is amazing, because they're used to it. It's their job. But like they had to work so hard to get there. And like you just see it and they're just out there playing. And it's like, well, why can't I be out there? But it's because you don't see the fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours that they...
Dude, I was thinking about that with the NBA draft this last Thursday. Zion Williamson, he got drafted. And all these people, you know, they don't realize how much time and effort he put into playing. And it was at such a young age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we both played sports in high school. And even though I worked hard and we worked hard, dude, we really didn't work that hard.
No.
Nothing compared to what those guys did.
No. Those
now,
guys...
they have talent and they have genetics, you know.
And that gives them an upper hand.
And that helps them. But
look at Tom Brady.
Yeah. It's just the work, man.
Yeah.
And like some people learn that earlier or later in life. I think it kind of depends on like who your parents are as well as like your environment. But like we didn't necessarily go to the best high school for teaching us how to like do those things, you know?
All right, yeah. Dude, I didn't learn anything in high school.
Like where we went to high school, no one's really done anything crazy. You know? Like you haven't heard anyone like, oh, Steve Jobs went to this Red Mountain High School, you know, or something like that.
I don't know if it's necessarily like a product of our environment, because like I don't really think a high school will have that kind of effect on somebody. I don't think so. I think college more than anything. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's mentorship and your peers, but at the same time, like you won't find the same mentorship you can achieve in college and high school.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like our JV football coach was a great dude, and like when we ended up in psychology in his class or whatever, like, did you ever take psychology with him?
Yeah.
Marquez?
AP? Yeah.
Yeah, like it was dope, and he was a great guy, and like you could talk to him or whatever. But like it's not the same thing as like my professors here, who I've had 3 years of classes with, and who I've known on a personal level, and I can go visit them, and like I have their phone number and stuff. You know, it's like completely different.
Yeah.
Than and what the level that we're at now. We have the ability to make real choices about our life, as opposed to like in high school. Like you just don't really come across that big choices unless you are going into sports. Then you have really big choices.
Well, I mean, I think it really comes down to your perception. In other words, if the school we went to, if the professors if they believed more in becoming great and, oh, this kid can achieve that. For instance, like Zion, to go back to that point, like Zion, his parents wanted him to go to the NBA. He wanted to go to the NBA. He believed in it. His parents believed in it. And then they surrounded him with people who also were like, okay, we're going to take this kid to the next level.
Yeah.
Whereas where we went to school, it was okay to just be above average.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like we were told in and pushed each and every day to be at that level. For instance, like Hamilton High School, like those kids
They did
constantly have people
to push them.
pushing them, and hey, we're supposed to win the state championship every year, and this is how a state champion acts and works hard. And where we came from, it wasn't like that. You know, there were some people that had that, their family or they had mentors like that. But like, for instance, you know, Jordan, he's in the minor leagues, and like his parents pushed his ass every single day. You know what I mean? So it's just totally different.
But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It's just, it also, I feel like, has to do a lot with the person though too. Like it's, you know, it really is a raffle at that point. It's like, that helps for sure, but at the end of the day, I think it's like, how much does that person want it?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to come from a school where everyone pushes you and helps you out if you just have that soul drive of like, this is what I want to do and this is what I want to do.
Right.
But yeah, no, it helps like you, like that combination of your drive, support from adults around you, connections, all that stuff, like your work ethic, all that leads to it. And, you know, and that's just sports too. But like, yeah, I've just been looking at everybody and like in a different light.
Yeah.
You know, just understanding now, like even something as simple as like being a firefighter. Like now that I've met like several firefighters and like several of our buddies from high school have become firefighters, and like I know what it takes to like reach that level. Like now you just see a firefighter in the grocery store, you're just like, damn, like at one point this guy had to go through this to get to this place, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, you know, I'll go on LinkedIn now and see people from our high school and they seem to be doing really well. And it's crazy to think that we were all just like 6 years ago, you know, just like naive kids. We didn't know what we wanted to do, and now we're successful, or, you know, we seem to be doing well. It's just like, the mind is so interesting in that sense.
Yeah.
Like you can literally determine the way your life is going to go based on your perception and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Like think about some of the people who went to high school who are total deadbeats now.
Yeah.
And I remember hanging out with some of them. I'm not going to name their names, but like they were super cool. They were on the baseball team with me. And now it's like, dude, they're totally like, you wouldn't even recognize them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's all just like their thoughts about where they're going to go.
Yeah. And like, that's what I'm saying is like, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is it all has to do with drive and support around them. Our parents would have never allowed us to do that.
No.
Like if we just wanted to be deadbeats and like didn't go, like I feel like if we're like, we're not going to go to college, our parents would be like, yeah, fuck you. You're going to college. Like we didn't have that option, and that's good.
Yeah.
You know, because the mind is so interesting. We will convince ourselves of anything, even if we know it's the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Our egos are so in tune that they will like formulate stories to make ourselves feel better.
Exactly.
That we're making the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like saying like, yeah, you know what? Like, I hate school. Yeah, I hate school. I don't need to go to college. Look at all the people with college degrees right now who don't even have a job. It doesn't even help that much. And they'll just start going down that track until eventually they've convinced themselves that like, I don't need to go to college.
Right.
And I can stay here. And there's nobody else telling them like, hey, no, actually, like, these are the benefits and this is why you need to do that. You know? And so it's like, it's the same thing. You need a little bit of both to like achieve that. And then I've been having a lot of trouble right now was like, I feel like everything in life has been scripted up until this point. You know, these like last couple years are just like, now we have absolute freedom.
Yep.
And it's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I would say that obviously we're still young.
Yeah.
But we feel old. But we're still young. But I would say up to this point, my early 20s has probably been the hardest years of my life.
Everyone says it is.
Yeah. Like you said, you have absolute freedom. It's funny because we're at the point in our life where we know what's right. We know we should be saving this money or we should be investing in this. And then we have that constant battle, at least I do in my mind, where it's like, I know I probably shouldn't do this, but I really want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really want to spend my money on this stupid thing that I know is not going to really benefit me.
Yeah.
But I also know that I shouldn't. And so it's that constant battle. And like you said, you're in a script from the time you're born. You go to school, all these things, and then you're finally off script, if you will. And it's like, now we're just trying to
You get handed the pen.
Yeah.
You get handed the pen
It's like,
to do
whoa,
whatever.
now what?
You go to school, you go to middle school, you go to high school, you go to college. You have some choices on where you want to, what you want to study.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do drugs? Do you want to do sports? Do you want to drink a lot? Who do you want to hang out with?
Yeah.
And those choices will mold you into who you come out of college with. And after that,
Yeah.
you know, it's all up to you. And
Right.
that's what's scary is like, there's no more excuses.
Yeah.
There's no more excuses. If you end up somewhere, it's because you ended up there.
Exactly.
Then like, though that's what makes me like double guess myself. But at the same time, I guess what you're saying is like, or to reinforce what you're saying is, I find myself making the same choices too, spending my money on things that I really don't need.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what I tell myself is, I can afford to do that right now because I don't have house payments, you know, just rent.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like I'm buying a house and stuff, and I don't have kids. I'm not married. You know, I got a girlfriend that likes to be taken to dinner, but that's not too bad. You know, it's not
Right.
like it. I don't have such a strong set of financial responsibility
Right.
that I can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now my finances are pretty good. You
Mhm.
know, like rent is cheap, car payment's cheap, whatever.
Right.
My fucking insurance could go down a little bit, but damn. But you know, I can afford to do that.
Right.
And like, I've been thinking a lot too, and I've been talking to people a lot too, is like, I want to set a series of goals for myself of things that I want to do before I get to that part. You know, my buddy, do you remember Eric? I don't know if you remember him, but
Probably.
anyway,
for
he just got
selfless.
married. He just got married, and
That's right. You were at the bachelor party.
Yeah.
That was that one. Okay.
and
Yeah.
we were at the wedding and stuff too. And my buddy Aaron's getting married too, and you know, our buddy from high school has kids, and it's just like,
I just went to Connor's bachelor party 2 weekends
exactly.
ago.
He's
Like,
getting
yeah.
married. Like, half the girls I fucking talked to in high school are married and have 2 kids. Like,
Yeah.
when I look at that, in my mind, I'm happy for them, but it's like I'm also more confident that that's not where I want to be yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in my mind, that whole idea of being an adult, of having kids, being married, and having a house is so far away from me still, even though it's probably only like 5 or 6 years down the line,
Right.
you know? But for me, it's like I want to set goals for myself and say, like, before that happens, because once that happens, dude, once you pop out a kid, you're done for. You're done. You're done for.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
your
no
freedom
more-
is, you don't have a lot of freedom
You're
anymore.
stripped. At least for like a good 6-7 years, the things you can do are very limited.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, give you an example is like Colton. Like,
you know,
love Colton to death. And, you know, his kid, Gunnar, is amazing. But
how old is he now?
he's about, I think he's 3. Yeah.
3?
3. But, and you know, Colton, he's just like us. Like, he wants to enjoy life and he works hard and things like that. But I've seen it firsthand, like him being one of his best friends, is like, when you have a kid, you lose a lot of freedom. You know, he can't, there were like certain things he can't do. For instance, the other day he was over at my house and we were, you know, having a few drinks. And instead of like staying and hanging out when more people were coming over, he had to leave because he had to wake up early the next day and, you know,
Take him.
take care of Gunnar.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like,
No, it's just like little things. Like I've been talking to people about like where I want to go, where I want to visit, what I want to do. Like, and you can't do that with a kid.
yeah.
You know, like
it's to be honest, like having a kid, I want to eventually, and
no, yeah,
that
same.
the ability to like raise a kid and make them essentially carry on the family legacy and be better than you,
Yeah,
because that's
Be
what it's all
successful.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah, be
yeah.
successful is super exciting. But something that I'm thinking, like when we're talking here, is I don't know if you noticed, I deleted my Instagram.
no,
I deleted it because right now it's the first time ever in history that most people are connected via social media, right? And so when I would go on Instagram and I would go on Facebook and things like that, what I would notice is I would look at people's lives and be like, why am I not doing these things that these people are doing. For instance, you see people, they're getting engaged, they're going on these amazing vacations to Europe, and you think that you're supposed to be doing those things, when in reality, life is just, it's based on your time, your energy, where you want to be. And so I think it's interesting that social media perceives and almost is trying to push you to be someone that you don't want to be. Like you see someone, the whole getting married thing, like because I'm single and I'm usually the guy that has been in relationships. And so I see all these people getting married and having kids and going on these vacations. And I'm like, I feel the pressure like, okay, I gotta get married. I gotta find a girl, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens when you get to our age, and especially social media doesn't help.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to just go find a girl just because I feel like I have to get married, because what's going to happen? You're probably going to get divorced.
Yeah.
If you just go and find a girl,
That's like the scariest thing too, is like the level of commitment that we have to deal with now too, of like, yeah, your choices, like you could be happy right now, but if you don't make sure that like it's like the right thing, down the line, you could fuck it up.
Yeah.
It's nobody else's fault but your own.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. I've been having a weird relationship with social media lately. It's not that like I want to delete it or anything, but I've been just staying farther and farther away.
Yeah.
And realizing what it is, because for me, the biggest thing, I use social media is literally just as like a talk platform with my friends to send each other memes.
Yeah.
I hardly post Instagrams. Whenever I do, they're just like things that I think are funny,
Yeah.
Not necessarily what other people would think are funny. I don't give a fuck about who follows me or unfollows me.
Right.
I just use it because my friends and I have a group chat and we send each other memes and funny pictures and whatever. Make fun of each other. Like, my buddy Sam changed his name on Instagram to his initials. So it was like dash, like bottom dashes, his 3 initials, and then another bottom dash, because he's in PR. So he wanted to be anonymous, so people couldn't find him. And he did the same thing to his Twitter. He like put his middle name, not his like first name and stuff. And so it looked so dumb and it looked so stupid. And my buddy was just like, let's just change our names to that too, to fucking make fun of him. And we all changed our names to him too. And he's like, oh, real funny, guys. Ha ha ha. Like, and we just kept it because it's like, and then I think we're going to do another one too. It's just like, I don't care. And like all the girls in like my life were telling me like, what the hell? What's your name again? You do that stupid thing. I can't even find you to tag you anymore. It's like, I think it's funny. Like, I'm not going to change it. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Well, that's what social media was for. It's to stay connected with your network.
Yeah.
And what's happened is, oh, well, I really look up to Tom Brady or Barack Obama, and so then you start following them, and then they start tagging people, and you're like, oh, that person's cool. Next thing you know, you're following 1,000 people you never even met in your entire life, and their life looks better than you.
Yeah.
And this is where I kind of was like, okay, I need to get off it for a little bit. I was like, man, my life sucks. But then you go around and you start talking to people in your day-to-day life at school and at work, and you're telling them stories, and then they're like, whoa, Austin, you have a really cool life. And I'm like, hold on a second. I was looking at your Instagram the other day and I thought you had a better life than me.
Oh, yeah.
And then you realize not everyone's beautiful. Not everyone's in the best shape of their life. Not everyone's happy, and not everyone's doing what they want to be doing. And so to me, I was just like, Instagram is just, it's a fake perception of what life is. And I'm holding myself accountable to be, I need to have a 6-pack every day. I need to be eating the healthiest food every day. I need to be working towards my goals every single day, because that's what everyone else is doing. When in reality,
they're not. Dude, and that's the thing. I am a strong proponent of judge me by my actions, not by my words. And I talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me too, like, I don't want to be a liar. And sometimes I can embellish like certain aspects. So it's like, for me, the more I say I'm going to do something, the more I feel the pressure to do it, because if I tell multiple people I'm going to do this and they come up to me and they're like, why haven't you done that yet? I'm not going to have an excuse. Right. So for me, like, a lot of people say, oh, the more someone talks about a certain thing, the less chance they have to do it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, if somebody says like, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire. Probably not, because somebody who's actually going to be a millionaire is grinding.
Yeah.
But for me, like the little things, it's like, yeah, if I hadn't told everyone I'm going to do a podcast, and people hadn't asked me, where's your podcast? I probably would have just like given up, you know,
Right.
because you got to hold yourself accountable. And that's what I've been doing, is holding myself accountable within my group of friends. But the thing is, on the internet, there is none of that. You know, all that. Do you see all this stupid Coachella shit where like girls and like some British couple like just Photoshop themselves at Coachella? Like they didn't even go. Like they just went to like a grass field and they took a picture like laying in a grass field, and they photoshopped the Coachella like
the Ferris wheel
and stuff around them, and they were just like, look at how stupid people are. Everyone like loving it. They're like, oh, it's so sick. Like, dude, if you're good at Photoshop, you can just lie about your life. And it's like,
dude, literally, there's girls that I work with at work. Not to interrupt you here, but
no, that was
these girls at my work, they do modeling, and like they're not ugly girls. You know, they're cute, they're pretty, they're really like nice and everything. Like if I never saw them on Instagram, I would still be friends with them and think they're attractive and all. But definitely not my type. They do modeling and they do the Photoshop thing you're talking about, where they go out into the desert and they Photoshop the cacti to make them all look beautiful. And dude, if I just knew these girls off Instagram, I would be like, they're the hottest girls I've ever seen.
Dude, it's
and they're not.
Man. My buddy Shannon, she came on and did a podcast a while ago, and she was showing me some of the shit they could do with those apps, and like,
dude,
how they make a girl.
You can have the biggest ass on Instagram, and your ass is nothing in real life.
Yeah, no, it's all a huge lie, and that's the thing, is like, looking at girls on the internet is just like a waste of time. It's a fucking waste of time.
Yeah,
every single one of them is photoshopped, edited, everything. There's no point. There is no point on wasting your time doing that stuff. And that's the thing, is like, I look at it for sports news. I look at it for news about my buddies or friends. But it's like, there's a lot of people who I've muted. Like, close friends who just like post so fucking much. I just muted them. I'm like, dude, like, I know who you are. I know what kind of person you are. And it's not this. Yeah. And you're just posting as if you're this. And I don't care.
Right.
I don't care, because I know you're lying. You're lying. I feel like Instagram or social media is a perfect way. It's a shortcut to success.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the epitome of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to be this, but I don't really want to work that hard for it to get there.
Right.
So I'm just going to pretend and embellish everything I do to make it seem like I'm there. So people are going to think I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll make me feel just as good as if I'm there.
Right.
And that's what I see a lot of people do. It's like, dude.
And that's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not.
Like,
it's not.
People, that's why depression's so high. You know, there are great things Instagram, and, you know, I think a lot more people are becoming more open. In other words, a lot of people are starting to show the ugliness and talk their true intentions and their thoughts, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you've seen, especially like podcasts like this, free form speaking. Yeah. You've heard a lot more people come out and say things like, yeah, I've had depression. I've been through these things in life, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. But like you said, like, there are people who are taking pictures in front of Ferraris, acting like it's theirs. Then they get 500,000 followers. And then what do? They advertise.
Yeah.
And then they're making $100,000, $200,000 a year, and all they did was go to a Lamborghini dealership and act like it was their Lambo.
Yeah, dude. Okay. Have you, man? Do you ever watch like Cody Ko videos?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, he's a YouTuber. He's pretty funny, and he makes fun of like other YouTubers. And there's these kids called the Dober Brothers, who like are also just they're like kid YouTubers who just make an absurd amount of money doing the stupidest shit. And it's like, they literally had a video that Cody made a video about, and like, these kids had a wheel of, it's called spell it and you buy it. So they had a wheel with like numbers. So you spun the wheel, and whatever number it was, you had to say a word with that amount of letters, and so they would buy it for you. You know? Okay. So like, let's say it was like 5 letters. You say house, you know, they'd buy you a house or whatever. So they fucking do this shit with their parents, and these kids have a shit ton of money, and their mom rolls in, and this is 11, and she says Ferrari or something. So they go to the Ferrari dealership, and they're like walking around like, which one do you want? Which one do you want? You want this one? You want? And they like, I don't know if they bought it because they do have the money to buy Ferraris and they do have like crazy sports cars and shit. But like, they walked around in a dealership late. It looked like it was like late in the afternoon. There was not a single person walking around. There wasn't an employee there. They were walking through. There's no employees there or anything. They never test drove one. They never did anything. And they just like walked around the Ferrari thing. And he's like, oh, you want this one? You want this one? Okay. All right, let's go get it for you. And then they cut the video and then they started. And they never showed them like driving the Ferrari or signing papers or coming back. And I'm like, it's a complete lie.
Yeah.
It's a complete lie. You went to, it's like, I could go take you right now and go on fucking Facebook Live and say like, my buddy Austin fucking did great and I'm going to buy him a fucking Porsche right now. We walked to Porsche one and we test drive it and I'm fucking filming us test driving it. And I'm like, then we go to the parking lot and I'm like, so you like that one? You're like, yeah, I like that one. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to get it for you.
Yeah.
And then cut. And people will be like, wow, this is so fucking sick.
Or even take it a step further and you rent it for the day.
Or yeah.
And then I'm like,
or you fucking
brand new
rent it.
keys. Thanks. Eddie, thanks, man. I appreciate
And
it.
the amount of kids on YouTube who would believe that and think that's sick. Little 14, 15-year-old boys that are like, I want a Porsche.
Yeah.
Look at these kids. Look what they can do. That's so cool. I want to be that. Man, I saw fucking... You're triggering me. I saw the craziest shit, dude. You know how last time we spoke, we were talking about how we could have been pro gamers?
Yep.
Like...
Yeah, we
I
used
was
to play
on
games and our parents would tell us not to because
Yeah.
it was not going to count to anything.
They're like, yeah, you would never
Now,
fucking be
Mom, look at
anything.
Ninja.
I was on Snapchat, and you know how Snapchat has those like little
Like the
stories or
yeah.
whatever at the bottom? You know FaZe, the FaZe clan?
I think so.
They're like a professional team.
Uh-huh.
They just added a kid to it. Like, I swear this kid's like 8, 9 years old. And like, let me see if I could find this kid. And yeah, he had like a little fucking story about him. And he was, man, no older than 8, 9 years old. And this kid's a professional gamer because he's really good at Fortnite. And this is the interview's crazy. He's in this mansion in LA and he's fucking hanging around with all these guys and they're playing Fortnite. And this kid's like, you know, it's really cool. Like, I never thought that like he's like, I always thought I could be a professional and I wanted to be a professional, but I thought it'd happen a couple years from now, not now. So it's really exciting. And I'm like, holy shit, this kid legitimately like grew up with the idea that I can be a professional gamer.
Yep.
Like, it's something that we never had.
Well, and
Like,
that's
we never had that ability to even dream about that.
That's totally, dude, it's crazy. And that's the whole thing. It's like when you go to college and you get a degree, a lot of times, or even like in high school and elementary school, you have this idea, I want to go into engineering or I want to be a doctor, right? But there are so many opportunities that aren't even a thing right now that are going to be in high demand in 20 years from now. And that's why it's so crazy.
That's where education's failed us.
Exactly.
That's where
But you got to think about it.
I hate our education system, but it's like, dude, for me, like, not to cut you off, sorry,
No,
but
you're
it's
good.
like, I had so much trouble in college because I had to keep switching my major because I went into college and I had no idea what I wanted to do because
Right.
our high school did not prepare us in the slightest.
Yeah.
I did not. They should have a class that strictly goes into. I had no idea what I thought. The only jobs were like an engineer,
Lawyer,
a scientist,
doctor.
lawyer,
yeah.
doctor, fireman, policeman.
Yeah.
I had no idea what an accountant was, what marketing was, what supply chain was, how engineering is a massive umbrella to hundreds and dozens of different, you know.
Yeah.
You can be a software engineer, but over that, you can be certain sects of that.
Yeah.
You know, you can be a security engineer and you can be a mainframe. Like there's so much stuff you could focus on. And I had no idea. All I knew is I like big complex things. I like spaceships and planes. I want to be an aerospace engineer.
Right.
But it's not really what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do big picture stuff, project management, process management. And it took me a while to get there because I had no one guiding me on what I wanted to do. When I would have trouble in college, my counselors weren't like, well, is this really what you want to do? Like, what do you want to do?
Right.
What is your ideal job? Let me guide you because maybe this major isn't right for you. They just kept pushing me. They're like, all right, yeah, here. You failed this class, try it again. like there was no actual guidance. There was nobody really sitting down and being like, let me guide you towards what you're really going to want to do instead of just letting you fucking run free. And that, I think that's where like, I
that's
had no
just because
guidance.
I think
in that.
college is really just it's a business.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make money, unfortunately. You know, for instance, I graduated from ASU in 4 years, and I still haven't taken my diploma out of the envelope.
Really?
Yeah,
it's a piece
what
of
am I
paper.
going to do?
Yeah.
You know, when I'd get my job interviews, I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. They've never been like, hey, make sure you bring your diploma in too
Yeah.
when you interview. They just, no, social security card, date of birth. You know, like
Yeah.
the diploma, don't get me wrong, college is great. I think college is better more for the people you meet, the networking, and the experiences you have.
Yeah.
The education, in today's day and age, dude, you can go on YouTube and find out how to build a spaceship. You can literally go on YouTube and learn how to make a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can go on YouTube and learn how to be a salesman. You can go on YouTube and learn how to be a financial advisor. You know, you can sign up for a course. It's $1,000 for 6 weeks and learn how to be a fucking stockbroker.
Yeah.
But the experience, the people you meet, and let's be honest, the people you know is really what you're paying for when you go to college.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I have become who I am today because of the people I met.
Yeah.
Like, I did not go to college and submit a homework assignment and feel good about myself.
Right.
I never once did that. Like, there's a difference between feeling good about a job well done and actually feeling good about it.
Yeah.
The feeling I would get when, like, I would be in a social situation and I would make a whole group laugh, or, you know, I would finally kiss that girl that I've been trying to talk to.
Right.
Or, you know, me and my buddies just had a normal night. Like, one of my best memories from college was the night that the power went out, because everyone was in their separate rooms playing Xbox and the power went out and it was raining. So nobody else knew what to do. And we said, fuck it. And we literally grabbed all of our chairs, like just fold out chairs. We put them in a circle. We turned on the headlights of a car and we just drank beer and hung out in the courtyard in the parking lot while it was raining and pouring on us. And we just talked and hung out. And like, that was like, you know, the type of confidence that you get from being surrounded by people who support you, social atmospheres, learning how to balance work, school, friends, you know, like relationships. That's the kind of stuff that made you into who you are, not necessarily just like doing web work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, you learn technical skills too, but like, that's the thing that I've been learning too, is like, you will not define yourself any separately from somebody else, because more than likely you have the same technical skills.
Yeah.
Like, just because you know how to do something, like anybody can go earn a Six Sigma Green Belt certification.
Yeah.
But if you are, how you conduct yourself, how you manage people, how you can talk to people, like, are you a screamer? Do you scream at people when they do something wrong? Are you rude to them? Or do you rule with an iron fist, or do you rule with compassion? Do you, you know, like, try to talk to people? Do you create meaningful relationships with employees to, like, make sure that, you know, do you have an open door policy? Like, stuff like that, you know? It's like, you learn those things in your social atmospheres. Nobody's going to teach you that.
Right.
And that's where, like, I do think our education system is, like, really flawed. We need to change it because we're focusing on the wrong things.
Well, it's a one size fits all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
like I was saying, like they say, oh, you want to be an engineer? Cool, go figure it out.
Yeah.
And at the same time, yeah, like going to figure it out is like helps, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's why some of the most successful people in school aren't always the most successful people in life. You know, a lot of you hear all the stories all the time with the college dropout.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
All right, you want to get a couple drinks?
Sure,
let's do it.